And we'll just kind of take a moment to get settled in and bring our awareness inward. So once you find your comfortable, straight aligned spine in a seated position, just close your eyes. Take that nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. It's kind of like you're signaling to your body that you're ready to turn inward. And then do just that. Start to feel into your body, noticing all the little subtle signals that it's trying to send you this morning. Start breathing a little deeper, a little slower. Our traditional Ujjayi breath, if you can. And then check in with thoughts, any emotions you might be feeling. Noticing your energy. And particularly this morning, and I know I usually ask you this anyway, but I'd like you to notice your sense of connection. And that is at all levels. How connected or tuned in to yourself do you feel? To others, and that can be other people, your animals. How connected do you feel to the earth, to the planet? And how connected do you feel to your creator? And then let's go ahead and set our intention for practice. And I'll tell you going into this, we're going to be doing some heart openers today. So you might consider factoring that into your intention. Most of us should continue to strive to open our hearts on a daily basis, because it's never just you get it open and it stays open, right? Things happen to us and we shut down, and then we reopen and we shut down, but we should strive to always be open. Brene Brown says the bravest and most courageous thing you can do is be open-hearted and vulnerable. So maybe factor that into your intention today if it feels appropriate to maybe let go and open up a little bit, not only physically, but energetically, because it will improve those connections. So just taking a moment to really get clear on your intention. And then when you have it formulated, take a super deep inhale. Exhale with a sigh. From here, I want you to just take a moment, doesn't matter what position you're seated in. I want you to take your arms out to the side, your palms are facing up. I want you to just lift your chest a little bit and kind of start reaching the arms back. So it's almost like you're trying to touch your thumbs behind you. This just begins your practice in an open-hearted position. Palms facing up is also a gesture signifying openness. Just feel the energy of this for a moment. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take one more big inhale. And exhale. And we're going to come to standing at the front of the mat. So getting yourself really solid and stable in your mountain pose this morning, Tadasana. It's good when you open your heart completely to be really rooted in your own truth, your principles, so that you can align with your principles. Let's inhale, reach the arms up, spread your fingers, lift your chest, look up if that's okay with your neck. Let's breathe here. Deep breaths, allowing the breath to sort of originate down in the lower belly and continue up into the chest. And then on your next exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your hips, fall forward into ragdoll. And as you're here hanging in your ragdoll, we usually talk about heart openers as being chest openers, which they are, but it's nice to remember that your heart also has a backside. So even as you're hanging here in ragdoll, bring your attention to the backside of your heart, kind of between shoulder blades. And then go ahead and just plant your hands, look up and lengthen. And then exhale into a proper forward bend. And we're going to step back with the right foot this morning. So we have a left foot forward lunge. Just hold your lunge for a couple of breaths. And drop your right knee down. Bring the arms up and overhead. Kind of tuck your tailbone under and sink your hips forward. And then just kind of play with this. Obviously, we're just getting into it. Take your time. We got lots of time to open things up. But really play with getting the front of your right hip to open. And then once you get that, maintain that sensation and maybe lift the rib cage a little bit more. Maybe even roll back. Bring both hands down, either side of your left foot. Gaze forward, straighten that left leg. Getting into left hamstring, and if you flex your foot and ankle, you'll feel your left calf a little bit as well. Kind of pull your heart forward here. That helps flatten out the back. And then from here, we'll step into plank. I'd like you to feel the same sense of strength and stability in your plank that you did in your mountain pose. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower down, and we're just going to come into a cobra first. So keep the hips down on this first one. And by the way, you can do Sphinx if that's better for you. But pull the shoulders down and back and lift your chest just maybe halfway. Just kind of let your chest move forward. Do those deep breaths, bringing the air all the way up into your throat, your chest. And then downward facing dog. Stability and groundedness in your downward facing dog. So it's kind of this continuous process of opening the heart, making ourselves vulnerable and open, and then getting rooted and solid and stable and strong within ourselves. And we just kind of oscillate back and forth. So let's take the right foot forward. Hold your lunge for a couple of breaths. And then drop the left knee down. Let's raise the arms up and overhead. Tuck your tailbone under, sink your hips forward. Again, we're trying to open up the front of the left hip. And once we get that sensation, then we lift the heart and maybe start to roll back. So it's just like, when we open up our low backs, we have to hit the glutes, the hamstrings, and all of that. So to open up our hearts, front side of the torso, we've got to hit hip flexors as well. So there's a lot going on. Try and get as much sensation in the front of your left hip and the left side of your torso as you can. And bring your hands down on either side of your right foot. Gaze forward as you extend your right leg, flex your ankle and toes, heart pulls forward. And let's step forward to our standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach all the way up and overhead, maybe even back. And then exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then back down. Step back with your left foot. This time you have a right foot forward lunge. Seeing to your hips. Drop your left knee down. Let's go ahead and bring the arms up and overhead again. Tuck your tailbone, sink your hips forward. If it feels okay, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift the arms. Now keep sinking that left hip forward, strongly tucking the tailbone. And then if it feels okay, start to roll your rib cage up. Keep your hips opening, but release your hands. Put your left hand on the mat. So you have a couple of options here. If your knees are a little tweaky, just reach your right hand behind you and kind of look at your right thumb. Keep that left hip sinking forward. If you can, bend your left knee a little deeper and actually grab your left foot with your right hand. Continue to sink the hips forward, looking over right shoulder. Only do what you can, right? So now if you do have your foot, you should feel it in the front of your left thigh, as well as the front of the left hip. Take one more breath. You might even feel it in your right shoulder. Release your left foot down. Come all the way back up. This time, hands on top of the right thigh. Tuck your tailbone. Sink your hips forward. And again, we'll work both levels here. If left knee is tweaky, in this case, you'll just take your left arm up towards the ceiling and lean back a little bit. If left knee is okay with it, you use left hand to grab left foot or ankle and sink the hips forward. And then if you like, you could take your right arm up. Just depends on which version you're doing. Take a couple more breaths. Good. Drop your left foot if you've got it. Hands on either side of your right leg. Extend your right leg again. And this time, very unusual, because I usually ask you to lengthen forward. I want you to go ahead and drape forward over your right thigh. You'll notice when you do this, your back rounds. Remember, back side of the heart gets to open too. And then we'll just step back to plank, find that stability, strength. On your next exhale, lower down. And you can come into either cobra or upward facing dog, but feel your heart move forward. And then downward facing dog. Again, finding strength and stability. Left foot steps forward. Hold your lunge for a couple of breaths. Right knee drops down, arms are up and overhead. Tuck your tailbone under, sink your hips forward. So we're coming back into awareness of front of the right hip. And we'll just take it in phases like we did on the first side. Right hand's gonna come down to the mat, left arm reaches behind you and you look at your left thumb. If you keep your pelvis tilted back and sink your right hip towards the mat, you're going to feel more anyway. So it's optional to bend the right knee and grab the right foot with the left hand. Release the right foot if you've got it. Come back up with both hands on top of your left thigh. Reset that hip stretch. Tailbone tucks under, hips move forward. Phase one is just the right arm reaching up and maybe back a little bit. And this is a beautiful place to stay. If your knee doesn't like bending deeper, this is awesome. If you want, you can reach back with your right hand and grab the right foot. And then the left arm can come up and you continue to sink the hips forward. You find the best place for you this morning. And then release your right foot if you've got it. Hands on either side of the left foot. Extend your left leg. And then instead of lengthening forward like I usually ask you to do, I want you to drape and round forward. And let the back side of your heart stretch. Step forward to a standing forward bend. And then inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up and lengthen. And then exhale, back down. You're going to step back with your right foot. Come into your lunge. And then from here, remember, if you need to modify, you can drop the right knee down. But if you can, go ahead and come up into your high lunge. Remember to tuck the tailbone under as much as you can. Sink your hips. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Lift the arms a little bit if you can. Now, it just depends on you. If your right knee is already down, you're good. If your right knee is off the ground, see if you can drop it down. Untuck the right toes. Sink your hips forward. Barely lift your right knee. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Right knee goes back down. Hands on either side of your left foot. Extend your left leg again. Counter pose. If you can, from here, turn your right toes under, right knee off the ground, straighten the right leg. So you're just transitioning in and out of that kneeling position. If you can, take a couple of breaths. And then we'll step back to plank and take our vinyasa. Just be mindful of what you're doing with each movement. Reestablishing stability and strength. Reopening the heart. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to be seen, to be heard. And then reestablishing stability again. So we just go back and forth, creating basically a space that feels safe enough to truly open. Step your right foot forward. If you can, you come up into your high lunge, and if you need to, left knee can stay down because you know we're going there anyway. Interlace the fingers behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, sink the hips. If you're able, just go ahead and drop your left knee down. Untuck the left toes, keep your pelvis tilted, barely lift that left knee, sink your hips. Left knee back down, hands on either side of the right foot. Gazing forward, extending your right leg. And then if you can, just turn those left toes under and take your left knee off the ground again, both legs straighten, intensifying your stretch. From here, we're going to step forward to our standing forward bend. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're going to start with our first dancer pose here. You're going to be doing it more than once because I want you to kind of compare this one to your next one. Let's stand on the left foot first. And if you can, your right hand will be out to the right with your palm facing up so that you can reach back with an open palm. If that doesn't work for you, you can go ahead and grab the outside edge of the foot. So we're going to grab big toe side of the right foot if possible. Realign the thighs so they're parallel. Left arm reaches up. Tuck your tailbone under, lift your heart. Press your right leg back till you feel your torso start to open. And then it's up to you if you want to lean into it or not. I want you to feel the front of your right hip opening. I want you to feel your torso opening and allow your heart to open. Come back up, release your right foot. Roll your shoulders back. Let's transition to the other side. If you can, your left hand is out to the left, palm is facing up. Reach back, grab your foot. Right arm extends, tuck the tailbone, thighs are parallel if possible. Extend your left leg behind you. So first we look for physical sensation of left front hip opening, left side of the torso opening, and then we give ourselves permission to allow emotional and energetic opening through our heart. Come all the way back up, feet together, palms together. Inhale, reach up, stretch. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. So you're going to step back to plank. And this time I'd like you to go ahead and lower all the way down to your stomach. You're going to bring your forearms in front of you and just cross them. And let your forehead rest on your forearms. Keeping pelvis glued to the mat, raise just your right leg. Bring your right leg back down. So you're still trying to tilt your pelvis back. Raise just your left leg. So you're keeping your pelvis on the ground. You're not trying to roll and lift too high. You just want the muscles to engage here. Good. Bring your left leg back down. If it's all right with your shoulders, you're now gonna reach behind you, and you can use a strap if you need to. Interlace your fingers. All right, so listen, this is hard for a lot of people. I want you to keep your feet down. Don't let your feet lift up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and just kind of slide your hands down underneath your bum. Now it's an upper back lift. Once you're up, you can raise the arms a little if you like. Lower down. Release your hands. Let them be beside the hips. Now we're going to raise it all. Both legs, the chest, the head, and the arms. Ready? Lift up. And breathe. Lower back down. Hands under shoulders, turn your toes under, downward facing dog. Stretch. Drop down to your knees. And what I'd like you to do is kick your right foot, just the foot, out a little bit. Spin your left foot flat with your left leg straight and take your left hand to the ceiling. So this is a modified side plank, but we're going to take it into kind of a kneeling dancer. I want you to lift your left leg off the ground, bend the knee, grab that left foot, pull the leg behind you and roll open. Bring it back down. All fours. Left foot kicks out to the left. So the knee stays down, but your left foot kicks out. It helps give you a tripod for balancing. Right leg extends with your right foot flat, right hand to the ceiling. So this helps you find your stability first, right? We've been doing that all morning. Find your stability, then open your heart. So raise your right leg, grab your foot or ankle, open your heart. Roll your chest towards the ceiling, press that right leg back. Remember to breathe deep. Bring your right hand and your right knee back down. Step back to plank position. We're going to flow through a vinyasa, and I want you to be mindful of what you're doing. Establishing stability, opening the heart, finding your strength. From this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend, back with the heart open. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. All right, so we've done a little bit more opening since the last time we did dancer. So I want you to do dancer this time and see if you feel more pliability on the front side of your torso as you open. But I also want you to notice if you feel more energetic openness. And if that makes no sense to you this morning, don't worry about it. We're gonna stand on the left foot first. So I'd like you to just reach back, grab your right foot with your right hand, extend your left arm. As you tilt your pelvis back and pull your right leg behind you. Feel into the physical sensations. And then just allow yourself to energetically open as well. Come back up, plant that right foot down. Compare how that felt to the first time you did dancer just a few moments ago. Stand on your right foot, grab the left foot with the left hand, right arm extends. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna find the physical openness as we move into our dancer. And then just allow energetic openness. And come back up, plant your left foot, palms together, strength and stability in Tadasana. Just take a moment and notice if that second dancer felt different from the first. It should have for physical reasons, but hopefully energetically as well. So inhale, reach your arms up, stretch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then back down. You're gonna step back to plank. Lower all the way down to your stomach again. And now I'd like you to extend your arms in front of you, palms down on the mat. Again, if you have trouble grabbing an ankle, you're welcome to use a strap or something here. So we're gonna play with half bow. And then our peak pose this morning will be full bow, which is a beautiful back bend, and you guys are all prepped for it.
So if you can, your right hand is going to reach back for your right foot or ankle. I'd like you to keep your left hand and left foot on the floor. Head and chest are up as we just kind of press our foot, right foot, and right hand up towards the ceiling. Bring it back down and release. Right arm extends, right foot stays down, left hand reaches back for your left foot or ankle, and you lift up towards the ceiling. Bring it back down. Take a breath, and then just decide, okay, so if you've got back issues, maybe grabbing both ankles is not a good idea for you. The last time we were face down on our bellies, we just extended our arms behind us and lifted both legs, head, chest, and arms. That's flying locust. You're welcome to do that again, but if you feel like you can, I would love for you to reach back and grab your feet with your hands. Use your leg strength. If you press your feet back, your heart will lift up. And breathe. One more breath here, deep breath. Lower down. Release your feet, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. Length, strength, stability. From here, I'd like you to take one more full vinyasa. Really pay attention to each component of your movement. And then as you come into this final down dog, if you need to do any kind of movement here, you can. And you can either walk or jump your feet forward and have a seat with your legs extended. Just find your sit bones. Come into Dandasana, staff pose, straight spine, active legs, aligned. Again, stability, strength, getting rooted and grounded. Check in with how everything's feeling. So notice how your body feels. Notice your breath. It should still be pretty even and fluid. Notice your thoughts. Like, are you having any thoughts around the fact that you didn't do any warrior poses or anything like that? Different practice, right? Notice your emotions. If you've been energetically opening your heart, emotions might be coming up. Notice your energy. How does your energy feel? And then really important, notice how connected you feel at all levels. And then inhale and reach your arms up, stretch up, and as you exhale, just lay your belly out over your thighs. Relax the shoulders. Feel free to round forward if that feels better for you, stretching the back side of the heart. And then coming up from that, we're going to keep the right leg straight. We're going to bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Just lean out of your right leg, get a nice forward bend. So now you're shortening the front of that hip that you spent so much time lengthening. Giving it a little bit of relief. Come on up. Now we're gonna pick the left leg up and I want you to bring it across your right thigh. The foot is flat, so you wanna keep your left foot flat. If you've got tight hips, keep your right leg straight. If you would like to kind of finish the twist, you can bring your right foot beside your left glute, so bending that bottom leg, it's up to you, but we're gonna twist to the left. So your left hand is behind you. Lift your chest, and here's what I'd like you to do. Be really mindful of your heart and shoulders. So we're gonna be compressing in the midsection. You're twisting to your left, but whether you're grabbing your left leg with your right arm or you have your right elbow outside, I want you to keep your heart open. And the reason I say this, I sometimes see people go into a twist and they collapse and round their upper back. I want you to lift your chest and really push your heart forward, leaving your heart wide open. Good. As you unwind, just bring the soles of the feet together. Hands are behind you, lift your chest, heart stays open here. Press the knees out to the side and down towards the ground. And then you can keep your right knee bent, extend your left leg out and just lean out over that left leg. Give yourself a nice deep forward bend, shortening up that left hip flexor. And then we'll come up from this, pick the right leg up, bring it all the way across your left thigh, right foot flat. Very important to have that whole right foot grounded. You can leave your left leg straight as we twist to the right, or you can bend your left knee and bring the foot beside your right glute. Right hand is behind you, lifting the chest. Remember, whether you're hugging the knee or bringing the elbow outside, don't hunch and round, push into the floor so that you can really lift your heart and keep it really open as you rotate into your twist. As you unwind yet again, bring soles of the feet together. This time we're going to slide them forward and we're going both positions here. First, the heart is opening. So you're going to grab your ankles, arch your back, right? Your belly and your heart move forward, head moves up, and you just kind of pull forward. It's like you're trying to put your heart where your feet are, and you keep your gaze forward. Take 2 more breaths here. And then come back up, and now we'll go back side of the heart and round down. So now you can act like you're going to put your head on your feet, and this will feel different. And this is opening up back side of the heart. Come on up from that. Just bring the knees together, roll down onto your back, hug your knees in, rock side to side. And then we're going to keep the right knee hugged in, extend the left leg all the way out onto the ground. Just hug your right knee for a moment. And then we're going to transition this into a twist. So you can either just let the right knee come across your body, or you can hook the toes of your right foot behind your left knee or thigh. If you need to modify, you can also bend both knees. Right arm is going to open out to the right. We want to maintain length in the spine as we rotate to the left. So if you feel into your body right now, you should feel the whole right side of your torso is open. Maybe a little bit on the right side of the low back, but definitely right side of the chest, right side of the rib cage. See if you can focus your breathing as though you're sending all of your air into your right lung. On your next inhale, come back up, and as you exhale, just hug your right knee in, give it a good squeeze. And then you can bring your left knee up to meet your right knee. Feel free to rock side to side if that feels yummy. Then keep your left knee hugged in and extend your right leg all the way out. Just hug that left knee for a moment. And then let's go ahead and twist. So whether you let your left leg just come across, you hook the toes, or you bend both knees, you're twisting to your right and you're trying to maintain length on both sides of the spine. Left arm is going to open out with the palm facing up. You definitely want to feel left side of your torso open. And then you want to imagine that you're directing all of your breath into left lung. On your next inhale, come back up, and as you exhale, hug your left knee in. Bring your right knee up to meet it, rock side to side. Just take a moment in Happy Baby or any other movement that you need. We'll come into some breath-centered movement in a moment, but just kind of take this opportunity to do anything that your body's craving that you didn't get in today's practice. Slightly different kind of practice, so just see what your body's asking for. And then let's go ahead and bring the feet down into position for bridge pose. But we're going to be doing these as therapeutic bridge lifts this morning. So this is a really gentle variation. You've done some effortful back bending by doing bow and locust. So now you get to kind of temper that with a gentler therapeutic bridge. Big toes touch, heels are open just like usual. Hands are down by the hips. As you inhale, just start to kind of peel your spine up off the mat until the hips are in the air. And then as you exhale, paste it back down, one vertebra at a time. So we're just articulating the spine. Inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. And I'd like you to do this 3 more times. And as your spine comes back down at the end of this next one, so just let your spine rest flat. Go ahead and let your heels touch too. So your feet are completely together, knees are together. And let's just come into that breath-centered hip roll. So as you exhale, both knees gently drop to the right. And it can be a small drop or a full twist. Inhale your knees back up. And then exhale and drop them to the left. Just let your breath be really slow and fluid. Let your movements be slow and fluid and mindful. Let's go one more time on each side. And then the next time that your knees are up in the center, allow them to drop open, soles of the feet together. I'd like you to bring your arms over your head onto the floor, interlace your fingers, but extend your index fingers, Jupiter Mudra. So you should feel your thumbs touching the floor over your head. Your knees are dropped open, the soles of the feet are together. We're gonna inhale and strongly reach through the tips of the index fingers as we reach our knees for the ground. Just keep breathing here. So you should feel that your low back and your glutes and even a little bit of your mid and upper back are tightening. This is your final heart opener. So take 2 more breaths here and see if you can breathe from below your navel all the way up to the notch in your collarbone. On your next exhale, release, unlace the fingers. Let your hands come back down below your shoulders, palms up. Soles of the feet are still together. On your next inhale, press your low back into the mat. So you're tilting your pelvis back. You're kind of letting the pubic bone tip up slightly. You have no curve in your low back right now because you're mashing it into the mat. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, release, begin to extend your legs. Gently, mindfully, find your way into your best Shavasana position this morning. And when you think you're there and you feel good, pay attention to the back side of the heart. Make sure you have space between your shoulder blades. Pay attention to the front side of your heart. Shoulders relax, not only down away from the ears, but down towards the floor. Let your chest spread and expand with every inhale. You'll notice that the chest will move less and less with your inhales because as your body relaxes, your breath gets shallower and softer. Just watch that. And then bring your awareness to the center of your chest, your heart center. And I want you to imagine that that part of your anatomy literally just opens up. And that can be however you just imagined it when I said those words. It can be like doors or windows, or it can just kind of dissipate until your heart is open. I want you to feel what it feels like to be laid bare, so to speak. How uncomfortable are you with the idea that everyone could actually see who you are? All your deepest, darkest secrets. How uncomfortable is that? And for just a few breaths, just be with that discomfort. And then come back into awareness of your heart center, maintaining that wide open heart, still wide open. Everything can be seen, but allow yourself to truly know that every single thing is simply a step on the path to you becoming the incredible person that you are right now. And that even if everyone could see everything in your heart, that you would still be 100% lovable. You are exactly what your creator had in mind. There are no mistakes, none. All those things that we think we need to hide don't need to be hidden. All those things were useful tools, steps along your path. Let that sink in for a moment. And then notice how it feels to be seen, to still be loved, most importantly, by yourself. So when we're firmly rooted and grounded in the knowledge that we are exactly who and what we should be, then we have the strength to open our hearts and to truly be seen, to not hide ourselves from the world, to let ourselves be a gift. As you take this next deeper breath in, I want you to think to yourself the words, I am a gift. Begin to move your fingers and toes. When you're ready, take that deep breath in, spread your fingers and toes. Exhale through your mouth as you relax them. Inhale and just stretch this body that you are so blessed to live in, and then exhale with a sigh. Bend your knees, hug them in if that feels good. Roll to your right side. And then press yourself up into sitting. As you come to your seated position, come to that same straight, aligned spine.
that you were in at the beginning of our practice. Today, you're going to put your left hand at the center of your heart. You're going to put your right hand at the center of your abdomen, the solar plexus region. We're going to be breathing in from the top of our heads, so as though we're pulling air in through the crown of the head, all the way down into this right hand, and exhaling as though the air is coming up the spine from the right hand to the left hand and then out. So like it exits through the back of your hand to the world, like you're breathing out of your heart. Inhaling through the crown of the head to the solar plexus, exhaling from the solar plexus to the heart and out. And then just let your breath return to normal. Keep your hands at your heart and your solar plexus. I want you to see if you can find gratitude for every single thing that has ever transpired in your life up to this moment. Were it not for all of those things, you would not be who you are right now. And according to the yogis and to me, who you are right now is absolutely perfect. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Drop your chin a little bit. Bow to yourself. Bow to your beautiful, wide open heart. Bow to your courage and your strength. And then just take a moment in gratitude that you have the capacity to realize who you really are, that you have the capacity to know yourself. Take one more huge inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Palms to the forehead, reminding us to be present. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth. Palms to the heart, reminding us to keep them open. When our hearts are open, not only can we come from a place of kindness and compassion and love for ourselves and others, but we can be seen and heard and share the gift that we are. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Namaste.